It was during my first semester at Hunter. My friend and I were just walking through the north building of Hunter College. My friend and I heard drumming, very good drumming. It sounded beautiful and so busy, and the beat was going. I mean, you can't just sit there and not move. And we were a bit hesitant to step in because we thought that we would just screw things up. We were welcomed. Everything was pretty good. We saw Lois and Frisner, and they just gave us drums immediately, and we started drumming.
Haiti, Vodou, who knew? Well, of course, the first thing that grabbed me was music. And, you know, I was getting into ethnomusicology, and I had gone to a Haitian program at Lincoln Center and just decided I loved drumming. There was something about it that just grabbed me. And then I had my first drum class with Frisner. My hands were probably a little tense. I had taken, you know, violin lessons, but first time with drumming. He kind of put his hand over mine and said, "Now, listen, when you play the Vodou drum, you relax and you let those people help you." And he pointed around to the images of the spirits. And there was just something that so grabbed me, and that more than anything else changed the direction of my life.
When my friend and I first walked in, he saw us from, I guess, the corner of his eye, and then came to the door and told us to come in. So my friend and I walked in, and immediately we got a drum, and he was just very friendly. That's exactly how Frisner was. Frisner is definitely a welcoming person. He's friendly. He definitely knows how to make them feel like they're at home.
Oh, he loved the club. He loved the whole activity. He really loved it. And Friday, I mean, it became important to the whole group, to go to Hunter. It was just like a highlight of the week. In interviews, people, you know, what do you do, blah, blah, blah. And he'd say, well, you know, I teach a course at Hunter College. And he was proud of that. He really was. The ethnomusicology professor, who had just recently been hired, is Dr. Barbara Hampton, was trying to get some kind of a workshop going in performance for her program, the ethnomusicology program, and so she asked if I would like to start a Haitian drum workshop. And in September of 1983, we started the workshop.
Honestly, going to that club every Friday is a party in itself. You're hanging out with people that care about you, that can teach you new things, that have been in the club for a while. And instead of just wasting your time, you can just go there and learn something new.
I always felt that there was something missing here. You know, something in the culture that's missing. I kind of grew up going to churches where you had to like really stay still and be quiet, and everything was just very solemn. And I went to a Vodou ceremony and people were having a great time. You know, the connection that Vodou has to, you know, to nature and to the forces of nature. You know, a lot of the Afro-Caribbean religions and the African religions have that. I believe that Europe had it at one time too, and lost it. There's always been this kind of intersect, though, between spirituality and art. And Frisner always, you know, the spirituality was always there. It was always, you know, he always kind of made you aware of that. That these rhythms that you're playing are, you know, they're for spirits and they're for deep roots.
As a Ghanaian, I felt like I was at home. because when I went to Ghana when I was younger, I also had an interest in drums, but I never fully played that out. But now that I am part of this club, I'm pretty happy that I know how the Haitian drumming goes and how I can relate that to my culture as well. Playing any of the rhythms makes me feel happy, makes me feel empowered, makes me feel like moving all the time. I feel like nothing else matters, honestly. I feel as if just playing that beat, I can honestly play that beat and not stop. He called me and I loved it. I mean, I always loved it when he called me, is Miss President. The second week, I stepped into the club and he said that they need sort of officers. And he just asked me, do I want to be president? And I said, yeah, okay. My life is now devoted to Haitian Drumming Workshop.
We can use this music and dance when we have dance, to re-educate people about all the first stuff that you're exposed to about voodoo is usually negative. I remember when I was a kid watching I Walked with the Zombies.
And out of their West Indian island comes a tale of terror and voodoo, of witchcraft and zombies, and all the weird black magic that the white man seldom sees.
Naive minds just take all this as the truth. So we can use music and dance and song to just show people that, it's not voodoo, it's Vodou. And Vodou is it's a word from Benin. That's their word for spirit.
I can recall a time when we all went to a voodoo ceremony in Queens. And that's when I was really blown away.
They're all-night ceremonies, and they really are about remembering the ancestors, because all of these nations that make up the Vodou pantheon, Rada, Juba, Nago, Petro, Igbo, Congo, Gede, and they're all saluted, throughout the night. They're all associated with some people from Africa, a group of people, a nation of people from Africa. You're saluting them. It's a series of salutations throughout the night, organized according to these nations. And you're trying to invoke them. You're trying to make contact with them. And they do make contact through possession. People get to talk to spirits through mediums, people who become mediums because of the drumming and the song and the dance.
So it was just a small basement, full of people dancing together. It was very hot, very, very lively and fun. The most distinctive person was Frisner because he was very lively, he was standing up, he was dancing and drumming at the same time. And you can tell he was just having a great time.
The first time that I had a drum lesson, and he pointed around the room and said, when you play the Vodou drum, you just relax and let these people help you. They're there for you. I mean, they were just real and tangible, and, you would ask them for some numbers if you want to play the numbers. Who better to ask than a spirit? Of course. So that's, his spirituality was just like absolutely real. I mean, it was like there was no distinction between what was real and what was spiritual. Frisner and I moved in September of '86. This was his designated altar space, and that hasn't changed over all these years. There's a pantheon of spirits, and they basically fall into two branches, Rada, Petro. Rada is about cool and about balance. Where Petro is about fire and aggressiveness.